Just how many people we got in here? Is it worth it? You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. What's up, guys? Oh, my people. That's a funny thing. When you disappeared from YouTube for how many months? Well, not disappeared from YouTube, because trust me, I have not done that. But rather disappeared from here. I've been moving. I've been busting a move. Ain't that right, Dan? Dan? No? Yeah? Ned? There he is. He's back. Where were you even at, Ned?
La boo-boo dolls.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got a weird story. I thought, well, the whole story is weird enough. You know, maybe I should turn this thing on and get the wagon down the hill for you guys, specifically for you. Now, oddly enough, everything I said before, in the before times, everything I said before was true. Still is, but it was too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'll just say hello. Nuke. Mr. Sutton. Lady Nuke. Brandy, how you doing? Tell P we got the wagon down the hill. Drunk, how you doing? John. Everybody, so naturally the names have changed, right, because of YouTube's new policies, where you're not allowed to have a handle and you just have this stupid kind of username, whatever you had as your username, with all of its numbers and jingly janglies and charms and all that stuff. And that sucks a great deal, doesn't it? There's Mrs. White. Yeah, she's sleepy. The little whites are good, indeed they are. And we're cooking another one. So things are different. I will, you're watching while camping? Oh, well, yeah, I got a spooky one for you, John. I do got a spooky one for you. You're watching while camping. I wish I was camping. I mean, I kind of am, right? Right? Yeah? Nah? Yeah? Nah? Yeah? Nah? Yeah? Nah? My audio is louder than my mic. Oh. Yeah, I haven't cranked this thing on in a while. There we go. Look at that. Look at that, Mrs. White doing audio engineering work over here. Because I can't hear it. I can't hear the mix here. You can. You got Nuke, why weren't you on top of that? You should have been way ahead of Mrs. White, Nukester. What's going on, man? Yeah. So I want to go ahead and start. And tell you guys a story. Let me get Dan. Let me talk, Dan. What do I got on my subject screen? Anything? It's just me. Yeah, it's just me. Good. Get in the wagon. Looks like numbers are going up a little bit. Maybe I should. Maybe I should stretch the opener out just a little bit. It looks like we got a few more people filing in here. I expected maybe 4. You know, back in them days, we used to do about 24, sometimes 34. Sometimes we'd have many as about 30 people in here, man. Was a good stream. And we may have one yet. I'll tell you up front that my passion for mystery began to wane just because of things going on in life, right? And then me moving on somewhere else to a bigger place, but a place where, you know, I'm not, you know, let's just put it this way. I have a job I'm busy with all the time. I'm very satisfied with it. But what ends up happening is when you do that, you stop thinking about Loch Ness monsters and Flatwoods monsters and Riverside monsters, and you start focusing a lot of family stuff. Started working on. The artist formerly known as P. I've had withdrawals. There you are, P. Now look, if your name pops up and I don't know exactly who you are, it's because of the YouTube change, because I love and remember all of you. You thought you were tripping when you saw I went live, Mr. Sutton? Well, you're not. You might be. You haven't been doing any crunches lately, have you? You can't time travel and go back and undo that, by the way, Mr. Sutton. It's already done. Just don't be doing any crunches and it won't come back to haunt you. No, I want to tell you guys, so I have my material prepared tonight. This may not be an incredibly long show because I know, for once, I know exactly what I want to talk to you guys about. And it's 2 things specifically. Odd occurrences in Lexington, North Carolina. And then a specific movie that I avoided for years, and it turned out that I really like once I finally watched it. So maybe we'll talk about those in that order. Is that agreeable to you guys? Yeah? No? Let me know. How's that by you, Nuke? The beam? You time traveled yesterday, Nuke? What do I got here? What is this? No. No. I like this screen, though. Oh, no. It's all going to shit. What are we to do? Ernest Goes to Prison? No, I know that movie well, Pete. Come on. I know Ernest Goes to Prison well. Nash. It ain't that. Skunk monkey. No, I wasn't poltergeist either. So check me out. Towards the latter part of 2025, from about just about August 2025. But let's pick up where we left off, right, gang? It's Ernest Goes to Jail. P. It's Ernest Goes to Jail. What an odd movie, by the way. What weird messages to... I mean, I was a child when that movie came out. And, you know, Jim Varney, God rest his soul. I was a child when that movie came out. And Ernest is like Pee Wee Herman for redneck kids. Everybody knows that. Anybody knows that. He's sort of like the... whatever Mr. Bean was for the English, and whatever Pee Wee was for weird LA and New York types, whatever El Chavo del Ocho was for kids in Mexico, that's what Ernest was for, like, working class, like, little kids with rat tails, southern kids. That was Ernest P. Worrell, was that. And Ernest Goes to Jail was such a dark movie because, dude, they try to execute him. There's no getting around that unless you're Ernest P. Worrell, really. Think about it. There ain't no getting around that. I mean, dude, they would put him to death. To the death. And so you're a kid and you're watching this, and you're watching your childhood hero. I had the pull string doll of this guy, and this movie comes out, and they're sitting there strapping him down, dude. They're gonna fry him, and they do. By the way, they fry him. Now, I'm supposed to be talking about something else, but P brings up, P, you brought up Ernest. And so, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the thing. They're frying him. They flip the switch and begin to attempt to electrocute this man, and do. And this is a moment. Now, I want you guys to consider this. This is a moment that is the last moment in many, 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 many men's lives. Many men. Many, 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 many men. This is a moment. This was the last moment in many thousands of people's lives, at least. I don't know. I don't pull statistics on how many people died by electric chair. Especially innocent ones, too. That's, you know. Surely there were some, you know what I mean? Surely. And he's an innocent man, Ernest P. Worrell. And here you go in the chair. Now, this last awful moment, innocent or guilty, in so many people's lives, is turned into this. Okay? And remember, he's doing it. He's doing a ting. And he's like, now go watch The Green Mile, right? I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. Am I so in love that I can hardly speak? When we're out here dancing cheek to cheek. So check this out, Nuke. The whereabouts of Crazy Train, unknown. You make of that what you will. I'm sure it'll be back. But I don't have Crazy Train problems lately. So yeah, I'm just trying to say Ernest Goes to Jail, an entirely unjust situation. All except for the fact that Ernest does have his revenge. He comes back with Magneto powers. And somehow he even goes back to work. Man, I gotta watch. I own this movie. I own it. I could put it in a machine and watch it right now. And I cannot remember how the hell he got it. Well, he just walked out of the jail, right? I am. Zero notification. Thanks, ScrewTube, says the toe. I know it. That's okay. We're not bothered by it. You want me to start over again? I can. I mean, I'm not going to. Thanks for that little warm up there on the Ernest tip, P. It lost us a viewer. You beautiful bastard, you. Well, there goes another one. Good. Be gone. Fuck off. Now, okay. Now I could tell. And there's Bill. See, right on time. Now I could tell this story that I want to tell you guys. It begins in August of last year. That's right, P. And you're damn right. So Fram Clerk and I started building the studio and going out and doing things and going out and attending ghost hunts. And I had just begun kind of to describe these and explain some of this to you guys before I went off to do other things. And we were with the Carolina Association of Paranormal Studies, who may or may not be, if you guys are there, James, and say hello. If you are watching, I don't know if you are. I know sometimes you do. Just a little howdy, just a little hello to you. And so we were off following them around and collecting quite a lot of footage, which I still have. And I mean, it's something like 60 gigs, all 4K. And I'm going to save that for this Halloween, because the years go by pretty quick. And I realized once I got moved on to a specific ongoing, what shall I call it, duty elsewhere, that I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to wait a year before I can do this, show this stuff. Because then Halloween came and went. As you guys know, Halloween came and went. There was no Halloween special or anything from this channel. Where was Skinny? I can't tell you where. Sorry, guys. Can't tell you. I can only tell you this. And I'm sorry that this doesn't give you any hints, right? It just tells you what my state of mind is. I'm not here right now because I need support or attention. I'm here to hang with you. Make no mistake. Make no mistake at all. Thank you for the steaks. Oh, look at that. Make steaks, not mistakes. I had steak tonight. Yeah. Anyway, you know, I found myself on a wondrous and still wondrous, ongoing adventure that made it so, let's put it this way, I was no longer like, oh, I'm gonna get them numbers up, oh shit, I'm gonna please the YouTube algorithm. I suddenly realized I don't have to do that at all. and it made me, yeah, the year is flying by, Toe. And it made me appreciate you guys. I've always appreciated you, but it made me appreciate you in a new way, which was like, we don't have to. There's no game that we gotta beat. We're just trying to keep each other sane, right? I believe so. And as my wife says, we've had a lot that's happened, but I'm gonna try and tell this story in order, so don't let me dick around anymore. A lot of footage had been collected, something like 60 gigabytes 4K footage of me and Fram Clerk going on adventures around our state and following the Carolina Association of Paranormal Studies with Mr. James and Mrs. Jen Milby. And let's get right into that part. I got footage, plenty actually, of things that happened while we were filming. Real stuff. Basically, gold. You call that gold where I come from. Because what we sought to do was to go and have fun and expect nothing. Expect absolutely nothing. Oh, the audio is probably a little loud here. Let me turn this down too. Yeah. How about that? It's weird. Every time I turn it down, I come back and that audio's back up. We're going to continue trying to fix whatever issues are going on here. If anything goes on screwy with the audio, you guys got to let me know right off the rip. Okay? Okay? Weird things were happening. We were going into these historic places, and you guys will see this when I get it to you. You'll see it. What I thought was, listen, I'm going to go in there and be me and just joke and howl and jump around and not take anything seriously at all. And if there's any weird things that occur, yeah, there we go. Thank you, Heather. If there's any weird things that occur, then they simply occur. And then we've got them on tape. That was the idea. And so we went on this adventure. Well, things happened. Odd voices, noises, things that were that you would be able to perceive, right? Not just, oh, I got a weird feeling in this room. No, more like, boom, what the hell was that? Oh, hey, here's a lady's voice over here. That's clearly not any of us. Bunch of swinging dudes walking around in these empty historic properties and so on. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, we clear. 5 by 5, we square. We 1 to 1. Good. And I realized Fram Clerk now was very and is a skeptic. I'm not so much, but I'm also not the type to go in and expect that we were going to get any ghost stuff while we were following these people around and going and messing with equipment and all that. Well, we did. Hopefully on Halloween, a year later, you guys will be able to see that. But there's something that makes all that extra special now, and that's primarily the reason why I decided I needed to turn on this stream tonight and tell you guys a little yarn. And that's this yarn. Of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6-ish properties that we went through, one of these was an historic property that I'd done some research on, dating back about 150 years ago. I'm more Mulder than Scully. I am, yeah. Fram Clerk's definitely more Scully. That's a very astute observation, too. It's bang on, because, Mulder could have his moments of skepticism, but generally didn't. And Scully could have her moments of belief and wonder, though she generally didn't. It's like a yin and yang. And that's basically what began to happen. something strange would happen, and then I would accept that as perfectly normal, right? And then I would look over and then find myself stricken with glee to see Fram Clerk going, what in the hell was that? And I'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever walked out of a mall into a huge parking area and
Yeah,
realized
baby.
you'd forgotten where you parked your car? Ever gone mountain biking? What do you want to be when you grow up? What's the right tip? Have you called a plumber to your home lately? How superstitious are you? How much money would it take to make you spend a night in a cemetery? Do you display this as a trophy? Do you have a pet? Do you have a sweet tooth? Do you believe in the power of a curse?
You know it.
Have you had your hearing tested lately? Planning a trip soon? Can you remember the tallest man you've
It's
ever
all
seen?
normal.
You love to go a-wandering beneath the clear blue sky.
So we go into one of these properties. It had been a leatherworks, like a tannery, whatever, saddlery kind of place for 150 years. Of course, it's not that anymore. Well, it's nothing now. Oh, I'll have to get to that. And I found myself walking through this town, and people were picking me out on the street. And now that didn't go to my head. I tell you this now. It didn't go to my head. I just kind of realized what was going on, a little bit of a scene happening. And, people were going, hey, SkinneeWhite, I watch your show. If you do, thank you. If you're a Lexingtonian watching my show, you need to let us know in the chat right now. So, as we're walking through this place, I get up to the primary, let's say that the spot that they were saying was haunted was on the second floor. And we get into this spot, and, well, it creeped me right out. Not for the energy of anything, because let's just say it was turned into, something that, it was turned into a type of business that didn't give off that kind of energy. But, I mean, man, there were like Ouija boards and skulls and paintings and wild shit. Very, let's just say, very artistic vibe. And they had these, what are called spirit lamps and spirit boxes and, EMF detectors and you name it. Okay, these people, they got this stuff. And we're in there, and I'm unable to, or rather the equipment, they had been unable to get anything really happening. Well, I was in there and I started being like kind of provocative and just running around, dancing, screaming, doing, effing and jeffing and shucking and jiving. And these lights all start to go off. I start flashing. And these damn spirit box thingies all start squawking. And a bunch of, a lot of weird shit began happening. Now, there were 2 different nights that we were in this place. And I had made a comment to Fram Clerk. I said, I don't know how this place is standing, man. It's scary. It's freaky. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to tastefully tell this story from this moment. So pardon me if I slow down a little bit, because, I have to be sensitive with my words, because there's... the owner of that building suffered a terrible loss just a few weeks ago. And it burned to the ground. And not just, but the building next to it as well. And that building was I would say is today Lexington's Candy Shop. You guys may remember from the very first Mysteries from Behind the Beyond. That also burned down. Ceiling collapse, complete loss. That candy shop at one point was Baxter Shimwell's hardware store. And inside that candy shop, they had the old Lexington Drug Company sign. And I had always intended, I said, once I get enough money, I'm going to buy that thing. Now, weirder events still occurred between the then and the now. The then being, hey, we're out here doing ghost hunting. And the now being, hey, that half of that block just burnt down. You guys can look it up. I'm not going to pull it up for you. You can look it up if you want. Terrible fire in historic Lexington, North Carolina. Claimed 2 properties. Both of which I kind of had an emotional connection to. I had done a lot of research, and I know others had too. And these places are gone. They're no longer there. I believe as of this week, or maybe last week, that they had undergone complete demolition. The remains, that part of the block. And that's very sad. I'll tell you guys right now, that's very, very sad. Very. No matter which way you cut it. However, I still got that footage from when we were in there. And I realized that was meant to be. Because that meant that the story wasn't complete. That's all that meant, gang. And how strange that I'm sitting on top of 60 gigabytes of what occurred while we were in there. It's not there anymore now. And as far as I know, we are the last people to have any decent coverage of what did go on in there and the interior. And so I know that Fram Clark and I, it weighs heavily on our minds just how to get that to you guys. And not just to you guys, but to the owners as well. So, bittersweet though it may be, and it is. Speaking of which, in January, we had ourselves a scare. I had to watch Mrs. White get carried off on a emergency medical life flight helicopter. Scared the hell out of me. Scared the hell out of me. I'll tell you guys right now, I did a lot of praying. And things came out okay. They did. They came out a miracle. So you could imagine as well that I didn't necessarily feel like coming around here and then saying what was going on and all that. That was, hearts. She might be asleep by now. I know she was trying to hang out in here, but hearts and stakes for Mrs. White. A real survivor. A real one. Quite literally, a survivor. And I tell you what, you guys know me and Mrs. White. If I had lost her, buddy, I mean, I know I'd continue. I know I'd be like them long-ass cigarettes from Virginia. I'd continue. But I tell you now, I wouldn't do it happily. Not ever again at any point in my life. And so that put things into perspective. And so notice how I'm telling you guys, these are stories of calamity, right? Or they seem to be. You got that heli flight card in your wallet for JIC? Yeah, Toe? Yeah. Yeah. So, just all of that going on, my mind couldn't have been further from here. And that sometimes works out that way. P, earlier you made the comment that I was this generation's Art Bell. I don't know about that. I think Art Bell is this generation's Art Bell. Wasn't he? Isn't he? Wasn't, isn't, / either or. Life comes quick, as Nuke says. I tell you, I'd like to be. If there's time, there may be time yet. I'm elsewhere, out there in the entertainment biz, and that's gratifying in its own way. But this is what's ultimately really gratifying, and now it's even more so, because we don't care about algorithm. Don't care about algorithms, or you're not going to hear even like and subscribe or any. I don't care, man. Well, then what the hell? What kind of unprofessional stream have you got going there? I don't know. One where I painted everything you're looking at, and I drew and animated and everything you see. I certainly took my time to make it look nice. But if you feel like it's a club you don't belong to, well, that's because it is. It is. Bye, and we say bye-bye. So, Nuke knows. I need to get my Nuke Nuts ads back up on here. Booger Gang TV says happy Sunday, Skinny and Kelsey in chat. We love you, Booger Gang. Yeah, he's gone. I'm his successor. Once I'm able to set up some kind of weird call line where you guys can actually tell me your freaky stories, and I just go, yeah, that's very strange. Well, I don't know about that. That sounds a little bit over the top, don't you think? Once we get there, yeah, I'll totally be your Art Bell. That's what gets the views, those kind of inside jokes that people have no idea what it is. I celebrated my 40th birthday in a haunted hospital. That was a thing. Didn't even do that for content. That was just my 40th birthday party. It wasn't it wasn't even content. We went to a 100-year-old haunted, a haunted hospital out in the middle of nowhere. A place that many, 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 many other people have made YouTube vids about, and actually has been featured in your more mainstream YouTube paranormal content plenty of times. Plenty of times. That's the Trivet, or Trivet if you're Southern. If you're country, you say Trivet. The Trivet Clinic in I believe the town is called Harmony, North Carolina. Could you smell the gangrene? Well, haven't you heard the stories from Ian, Nuke? There were bloodstains on the floor for real. There were 100-year-old bloodstains still, because it was hardwood. It was an older style hospital. Historic. Built by just one man, Dr. Trivet. And, me and Ian were hanging out in Framcourt. We were hanging out in the operating room of this haunted hospital. And there were, hospital basements are hella haunted, in my opinion. Yeah, so Mrs. White also visited there on my birthday. She was there. We spent most of the time in the basement of that place. And I will tell you, the owners of the Trivet Clinic, very fine people, very kind. They invited us to their holiday party, which we weren't able to attend. But they were very kind. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that I had been there twice. This was my wife's first time there on my birthday, but it was my second time. That was the Halloween special. So it'll be this year's Halloween special. We did record hours of footage in there. And it's, I thought, just like with every other place that we had done. Did you do a Who Weed, says Nuke? No, I did not. That's too far out in the middle of nowhere. If you did a Nuke, you got to take my word for it, brother. If you did a weed, being like where this place is, let me put it this way. You know what, Nuke? Guys, pardon me, anyone watching, whatever, all 14 of you, all 7 of you. I'm just going to talk to Nuke, solely just Nuke here for a second, for a minute, for 2 minutes. Nuke, you know that thing where you look at a place and you go, oh, I definitely wouldn't do a weed there. It's out in the middle of nowhere and it's freaky, and I wouldn't do a weed. And as you are trying to get there, right, it's like a Scooby-Doo background from one of them old cartoons with the fog rolling by and empty rotten farmhouses. And then you're like, you're increasingly convinced that you wouldn't do a weed. You wouldn't even do a weed on the road you're taking to get there at this point. You're like, man, I couldn't desire a weed any less. I need to be sharp for whatever all this shit is. And then you get there, though, and you realize once you get inside, you go, man, I would totally do a weed here. That's what it was, Nuke. It was just like I explained to you. Like, let's put it this way. Halfway there, you would throw the weed out the window and be like, fuck that. And then you'd get there, and after about half an hour in there, you'd be like, damn, I wish I hadn't thrown the weed out. That is exactly the feeling that I had. Precisely that. I knew it, says Nuke. It felt kind of Harry Potterish. About these haunted places. Some of them you go into and it's everything you think when you think haunted. And other places you go into and these could be obvious. Let's just say obviously haunted. Like, hey, look at it. It's 100-year or more old building. You know, there's transoms and gambrel root or whatever. It's a very odd, very creepy looking place we're going into. And it is haunted, but there's like a weird magical feeling, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. There's like a warm, like a friendly feeling. The Trivet Clinic, that's how I felt about that place. Consider this, if you will, some kind of appetizer. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll be back next week. Consider that an appetizer for what I'm going to try and get you guys on Halloween. So, yeah, the wife's going to... Good night, dear. Wife's going to sleep. Friendly little vibe, though, that we got. But weird things while we're in there recording, and I want you guys to understand that this happened at every one of these types of places that I visited and did the old SkinneeWhite routine, playing this character. I hope that you guys know I did exactly what you would expect me to do. And I noticed that while doing it, shit would start popping off, and we would catch it on camera or on audio. And we had the benefit of being with these people who had this crazy gear and technology. And so we were in communication with them, and then they would email me or call me, and they would be like, hey, Skinny, check this out. So this is while you were over here, or this is while you guys were in this room, or here's some audio from the hallway from here, etc. And I would listen to, I'm not going to spoil any of them. We'll do these on Halloween, but I would listen to them and I'd go, my God, I know who. And then because I had my own footage, I could use the time code, and I'd go, wait, I know who exactly was in the building at this moment in time because I have my own footage. And I would check out the time code, right? And I'd be looking. I had Squab and Fram Clerk with me, and I'd go, wait a minute. At 11:03:04 right here. Okay, I've got it. This is tracking with what they've got. Let me look at this. And I would go, yeah, I know that just me and Squab and Fram Clerk are in this entire building right now at this moment in time. And why is there a woman talking in the next room saying, hello. It's just a little taste, right? I shouldn't even spoiled that, but stuff like that. We started best rares. Oh yeah. The best rares. So there were other things. There were full-blown people walking past surveillance cameras that should not have been there, that weren't there. And again, I was able to confirm this by looking at my own footage and then looking at at multiple cameras that would be set up and so on and so forth. And there was enough of that I realized, good Lord, it's almost too much. It also made me realize another thing. All of these ghost hunting YouTube channels are full of shit, man. They're full of shit, and their problem is they're too focused on, oh, what was that? Oh, let's get a ghost. Oh, let's find this. Oh, that's creepy. Oh, I feel weird in this room. And that's why they don't get anything worthwhile, and that's why they fake the shit with editing afterward to make you think that they did. It's because they take it too seriously. I saw a weirdo in the parking lot once at Halloween. He had a dress on fangs. It wasn't Rocky Horror. Oh boy. Yeah, we're going to get to that too. I still have that. I want us to have a good Halloween special this year. If this channel, if nothing else, gang, if I can at least guarantee this crew a Halloween thing every year, then I'm happy with that. And then I can go and then do my job. You know what I mean? My day job, if you will. I seen a guy in a woolly mammoth suit. Yeah, I know. It's the same guy. Who is that guy always? It's always this weirdo dressing up and stuff. It certainly isn't Five Banger. I know that. Right, Dan? Dan? Let the lovin' come back to me. Air. Avalis. What's up, brother? Where was I? You got story? Nuke, you need to tell me your stories sometime. Like, and then I'll, like, story edit them and report them here. Nukes. Right? Tell us your tales of terror, Nuke. But you got it. Well, tell them to me, and then I'll present them. I would love to do that. Once again, I'm not interested in pursuing a broader audience. No. I'm interested in digging a little deeper into the one that we got. So I'm perfectly happy to tell Nuke's tales of terror. Oh, Dan's watching. Yeah, he looks fresh. Well, I mean, Dan's perennial. He's evergreen. Ghost hunting videos are so goth. They are. They're overly goth. And so what I did was I kind of had... My approach was just to be like, hey, let's go in there and I'm just going to do what I do best, which is talk nonstop and not really take any of this too seriously while simultaneously believing that every one of these places was haunted. And that seemed to work. It really did. Because all of a sudden we started seeing things started appearing in video footage and bleeps and bloops and weird shapes and voices of people that weren't supposed to be there and loud thuds and booms and knocks and just about everything you would get from quite literally everything you would get from a quote-unquote real ghost hunting program. And what was funny was I had titled all of this Ghost Blazers Edition because, again, it was supposed to be a joke. And it just goes to show you that if you try and go do a ghost blazing, it's going to come out, you're going to have better evidence than these YouTube ghost hunting people, almost every one of whom I laugh at. Oh yeah, Avlis, you need to talk to me about that later. Tell me about that later. I can't possibly wait for that. That's great. Tell us about the fucking golf shoes. Yeah. Oh, and about that, maybe we'll have some of that. I got plans for Dr. Duke. I have some plans for that. So yeah, one of a chunk of historic Lexington, North Carolina burned to the ground, and in August of last year, I was, and that just recently happened, less than a month ago, gang. In just August of last year, I was all up in these places, documenting whether or not they were haunted. So it is a bit of they're rares. These are rares we're talking about. The vid, the footage, these are rares by definition. And so moving on, I'll get to, just for no reason at all. Do we have the beam? No, we don't. There's no beam there. That sucks. We got a crazy train. Oh boy. Oh my, Nuke, you were right. So yeah, that's the events up to now. I had no idea, TLDR, right? I had no idea that I was actually also documenting places that now don't even exist anymore. And so now they got to be seen. I was doing some talking as well there in Lexington, in coordination with the Carolina Association of Paranormal Studies, and they had some footage of that. That was like live on Facebook or something. I was standing there in the courthouse in a dressing room full of people about the history of the town. Found myself in some pretty weird shoes. Really did. No nanobot. Come on now, don't do that to me. No, nano. Nano. So here's the second part I wanted to tell you guys. I may or may not have mentioned it on this stream before, but I've always had trouble finding a good Lovecraft movie. The literary works of H.P. Lovecraft are notoriously difficult to adapt to film. And I know I've spoken a lot about Lovecraft, the writer, and Lovecraft stories over here, but I never really went into the fact that most movies... Oh, Toast is with a new family now. Mr. Sutton asks, how's Toasty? He's with a new family now. And latest intel on Toast, I know, it's sad. But our own family is growing. We found ourselves in a position where we were not going to be able to offer Toast his best life. Toast is now a companion to a little nonverbal autistic girl. And he keeps her company, and from what I understand, she appreciates his company very much. And the people who have Toast now do not know how legendary a cat he is, but I do get updates on him and ask for updates and say, show me the boy, show me Toasty. Show me how he's doing. And his new owners are happy to do so. So in a way, I'm very happy about that, and I'll tell you why. That's far better than, it almost gives him some immortality, doesn't it? It's far better than if I were to tell you, oh, well, Toast is sick, or he's getting old, which he's not. Or, God forbid, we had to put him to sleep. No. No, I was trying to game it out. And I thought, what is the very best outcome here? And it was definitely, no, his adventure needs to continue with someone who's really into having an adventure with him. And that's what happened. Yeah, Toast. Yeah, Toast came full circle. Toast has got a job. He's fine. Yeah, he got a job, basically. That seems to be it. Leave it to Nuke. You can't put it better than how Nuke just did. You know, he got a job. He's out of the house. Yeah, Toast, he did go full circle, Toe, because he kind of started off as an internet cat, living a weird life with demonstrably weird people. I ain't gonna say that we ain't. And then, you know, ended up being a little house cat, like companion guy to some children who needed him, and that's what he does now. And last I was told by the folks who now are Toast's stewards, you know, he curls up on the bed and sleeps with them, and specifically, you know, there's a little girl who has enough trouble in life, and he's there for her, and apparently he feels comfortable enough with her, he stays with her, and that's just fine by me. That's good to hear. He's a good boy. Always will be. We miss him. But at least I'm telling you guys right now that we miss him, like, in that way, and not like, oh, he's not with us anymore. He got ran over by the crazy train or a nuke truck. You know what I mean? At least it's that. At least it's, hey, we miss Toast. He's off on another adventure, and not, hey, we miss Toast. He's no longer with us. So he will always be, I think, a fixture and a symbol of this channel in some way or another, right? We all, forever. And I would like to get to a point where I don't need any updates on him anymore, so I never have to know either. You guys know what I'm saying? So that I never have to know. Like, nah, he went off doing the Lord's work, and perhaps he still is. So getting back to where I was going, I haven't enjoyed any recent movies, like, for years and years now. I have a recommendation for you guys, and some of you may have already seen it. As a matter of fact, I would bet that Bill or Toe would definitely have seen this already, and then be surprised that I hadn't. H.P. Lovecraft wrote stories in a way that were nigh impossible to adapt to the medium of film. And there's a reason for that. It's because the way he wrote them as if they were reports drafted up by one or more various and sundry people, explaining a weird phenomenon. K-Dama, we've missed you. You sent a letter in the mail years ago to Mrs. White and I, and we still have it, by the way. I just wanted you to know that. So we're in a new place now. Moving on up to the east side, and we finally got up this road. Moving on up, there's Adam S. Hello, Adam S. You're the best. Doom. We think about you. All of you. The works of H.P. Lovecraft are hard to adapt because they're written in the same way as Bram Stoker's Dracula was written. It's just multiple people saying, here was a thing that dates to this time and occurred in this place, and let's go, now to that person and their papers that were written about this same phenomenon. And it was written kind of like it was nonfiction, even though it was all fiction. That's the nature of like a Lovecraft story, is it's like a report, quite literally a report or a recounting, and often, more often than not, out of sequence, much like this broadcast or any of my broadcasts. Out of sequence. You're buying steaks to honor me? Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Make sure that you get one that's very well marbled. I have a feeling that you're going to find one that's very well marbled, and you're going to just look at it and go, no, I couldn't ask for anything better than that. And it's going to be on sale too. I have a feeling it's going to be on sale, and I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to say it's going to be $16 or $17.99 for 2 really good cuts. When you find that deal, those are the ones I want you to get. Let's go ahead and say ribeye. Yeah, ribeye for sure. Well marbled ribeyes. Please and thank you. Two for $17.99. That's what I'm hoping that you run into. No less than an inch thick, obviously. Safeway's finest cut. There you go. There you go, brother. Yeah, the old Safe. I mean, hey, if I see a decent cut at Walmart, I'll grab it. I don't think that cow's going to have lived the best life, but, I mean, it's a Walmart cow, right? A steak is steak. $15.46. There you go. Hell yeah. I was close. You got a better deal than the one I imagine. Certified Black Angus? Hell yeah, Toe. Winning. Vocal runs are ass. Meaningless. Genghis Tron's got a new record out, Adam is. Oh, hey, Adam. Sorry, guys. I'm going to break in my Lovecraft talk for a second. Adam, me and Mrs. White went to go see Mike Patton. We saw Mike Patton. This was back sometime in April. We saw Mike Patton with the Avett Brothers. And they performed Retro Vertigo. They did a few Faith No More songs as well for old Patton. And at the end, get this, I think anybody will be entertained by this. At the end, they bring out their old Meemaw and Pawpaw, because they're from a small town in North Carolina, these Avett Brothers. It's Americana music. It's like folk Americana, bordering on country style music. Not quite my thing, but because Patton had produced their latest record and was touring with them, said to the wife, we got to go see Patton. We got to go see Mike Patton. Actually, Avlis Music in here, I sent him some video from this performance. At the end, the Avett Brothers brought out their Meemaw and Pawpaw on stage, okay? And I'm talking, they were a legit Meemaw and Pawpaw. They're from out here in the country, North Carolina. And I'm watching Mike Patton holding the hands of their Meemaw and Pawpaw, and they all start singing, It Is Well With My Soul. The old hymn. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Mike Patton joining hands with a Meemaw and a Pawpaw, singing It Is Well With My Soul. Oh, and boy, oh boy, he also did a rendition of My Rifle, My Pony, and Me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine My Rifle, My Pony, and Me? As performed by Mike fucking Patton. It was a joy, and me and the wife had a really good time there at that show. A lot of old people in that crowd. And nobody knew who Mike Patton was. Everybody was there for the Avett Brothers. And you could tell hardly anyone was there for Mike. And Mrs. White and I actually waited near the backstage exit area to see if we could get an autograph from old Mike, even though I know he gets sour about that sort of thing. And there was nobody there for him. It was just us. Once the Avett brothers were out, there was nobody. It was just me and Mrs. White. It was just us. And I asked one of the drum technician, I said, is Mr. Patton going to be out? And he said, you'll be waiting a while, but he will be. Yeah. And not 10 minutes after that, this old crotchety security guard that working the venue comes out and he's like, you guys gotta go. And I was like, well, the tech just said, Mike Patton will be out here in a little bit. And he was like, everybody's gone. And I'm like, that's a damn lie. That's a damn lie, sir. You just want to go home. Right? But who knows? Maybe he spared us from some encounter where I'm like, Mr. Patton, we've been through hell. Would you just take a picture with us? And then, maybe he'd get sour. Should have had Wolfmother playing softly from your pocket. Oh, I know, right? Patton hates Wolfmother. I'm not going to stop playing Wolfmother until you take a photo with me and my wife, Mr. Patton. Yeah, that would have been a good play, Adam. You should have been there. We should have had you with us. Ideas like that. So yeah, the Mike Patton, Avett Brothers concert, I enjoyed it thoroughly. If they were still on tour, which they are not, I would tell you guys, hey, go check that one out. But that's over and done with. So let's just get down to brass tacks. The Color Out of Space, released in 2019. I believe it was 2019, right? Yeah, 2018, 2019. Nicolas Cage. I'm happy to report to you guys, I finally watched it 2 or 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. And as soon as it was over, I went, my God, they've done it. The first competent Lovecraft movie I've ever seen. Because the best we had prior to that was the film Dagon, which you can go find on Tubi if you want. Brian Yuzna produced it, and that's the guy who did Reanimator and stuff. Usually Jeffrey Combs is in like everything Brian Yuzna does. It wasn't in Dagon. Dagon was very good. And I thought, well, Dagon is the most faithful H.P. Lovecraft adaptation I've ever seen, because it was basically an adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth, which is my favorite story of all time. Novel or short story, doesn't matter. It's my favorite piece of literature of all time. The Shadow over Innsmouth. And if I can recommend to you guys, if you want to go to sleep to what I go to sleep to, if you pull up The Shadow over Innsmouth audiobook, click the one that has the black and white photo, the old black and white photo of H.P. Lovecraft himself. And I can't remember the name of the guy that recorded that audio version of the story. I think he's passed away now, but it was recorded in the 80s, I want to say. Maybe the late 70s or the 80s. That's the best version. Guy had the perfect voice. Yeah, I live. I know, Black. We love you. Where have you been? Where have you been? Yeah, don't simp too hard. You'll scare him away. Nuke knows. Nuke's the keeper of the keys, man. So here I am watching The Color Out of Space. And it has Nick Cage in it. And this is why I avoided it. I don't dislike Nick Cage. I love Cage. But you also know what you're getting into with a Nick Cage film, which is this. It's going to be corny and kind of low budget and weird. I'm not really going to be able to take it serious. I don't watch Nick Cage movies to take them seriously. Think about that. When's the last time you watched Con Air? A fantastic film, by the way. And went, Oh, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. This is so serious. And you know, this is just Citizen Kane. This is so serious right now. What a statement. You don't do that. It's not the reason you watch Con Air. Oh, man. Fucking Con Air. Now I'm going to get off on a tangent about that. What a good movie Con Air is. And then now I'm sitting here trying to ask myself, well, when did I last watch? Because I know it was recently, but I can't tell if it's right before we moved or after, because we have moved once again. Oh, boy. Con Air. Where was I? Color Out of Space. All right, let's go. I put this movie on. It's got Jolie Richardson in it. It's got Nick Cage. And then a bunch of people, I don't know who they are. Oh, Tommy Chong's in it. Tommy Chong is great in it. Tommy Chong is fucking great. Again, this is a Lovecraft story we're talking about. And somebody tells you, hey, listen, it's got Nick Cage and Tommy Chong in it. You're shitting me. This is a Lovecraft adaptation we're talking about? Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah. I know. Black. Baby and a Move. And all other kinds of things. Good Lord. If you listen to the earlier part of this stream, then you would know we have been up and down and left and right and all the way through it. There ain't nothing to it but to do it. And doing it, I am. I might even be the best at it. I don't know. I think I am. Just only for other people. It's never for me. That's why you guys are so valuable. At least you're here for me. That's what I can appreciate. All these other 1,500 subscribers that still come from the Riverside Monster vid, what are you doing here? What are you doing? Why are you watching this live? Just go watch that video another 500 times. And completely ignore Wolf Woman, by the way. Just completely... What is it? Where are we at, Nuke, on Wolf Woman? 500? The Riverside Monster damn near went fucking viral. It's like they just watched that one on a repeat. If you're a subscriber from Riverside and you're not drunk, I don't mean inebriated, I mean our own drunk wedding photographer. If you're a subscriber from Riverside Monster and you're not drunk wedding photographer, who are you? Why are you here? Leave us alone. Go watch that guy with the beard. What is it? What lurks beneath? I think. The guy with the beard. He's so soy, by the way. Oh, boy, yeah. I don't give a fuck. I'll take the filter right off. Again, I've got pressing business elsewhere, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you that. I'll put my money on it. As a matter of fact, I am. I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now. That guy, what is it? Shadows, what lurks beneath. This guy with the beard is fucking soy boy. The way he tells these stories is so lame. I've tried. I really have. If you subscribe to that guy and you also subscribe to me, you're confused. Unsubscribe from me, okay? And then just go back to your shit. This fucking guy with his beard that he clearly straightens, by the way. Imagine that. Imagine sitting there and going up to your bathroom and getting your straightener out to straighten your beard. If you're in my chat, I don't care if I've known you for years. If you do that, by the way, if you're in my chat and you're sitting there, Happy Father's Day, Farmer John, how you doing, buddy? My brother. And you're straightening your beard so that you can turn on your shit and do your YouTube videos about monsters and ghosts, okay? And you're doing that the way that man does it. The way that he tells these stories is so disingenuous. Now I'm really start ranting here. The way that he, and others too, but let's just focus on him because he's just kind of recently popped up. You look at any video he does, it's like 1.8 million. He's now like, I guess, the moist critical. He's the new Wendigoon. You know what I mean? and that's fine. Except, can't you have a thing that makes you fucking special? YouTube, what's going on? Not everybody has compromat, and for that, I'm sorry. But not everybody does, dude. Because I'm sure that there's some helicopter full of fucking YouTube weirdos, you know, Susan's goons. I don't care how long she's been dead. The goons survive her. And they come out and they go, all right, here's a video of you wanking off, and here's some other stuff of you talking to somebody funny, and all of this stuff, and we're going to destroy you if you don't do it precisely this way. We want you to sit in front of a fucking halo light, in front of a weird background, and talk in a very convincing, and all of a sudden, and you're going to use that tone, and we know that it's fucking super G word. We know that it is, but you're going to do it, because that's what YouTube wants. Everything else is cringe, brother. It's all cringe. Okay? Don't be genuine. That's cringe. Don't be real. That's cringe. Don't tell people you don't give a fuck. That's cringe. You gotta sit there like a fucking soy boy. All you're missing is the mascara. We want you to tell us about those Ohio goblins. Now go. You fucking F-slur. They all get that. I'm convinced that that's how the market works. They all get, yeah, see, I lost 2 viewers. Good. Fuck you. Get out of here. Oh no. He went in on what worked the Shadows guy. Woo. That's the other thing. I've learned a lot. If people get so defensive, they get the most defensive and the most loyal to the biggest YouTubers who they're getting 1.8, 2.8, 3.8 million views on every vid. Guys, they're living in Runyon Canyon, okay? They don't give a shit about you. You don't need to simp for them. They don't need... It's funny. The bigger the guy you go after, people flood you. They'll make videos about it. Small-time YouTuber attacks what lurks beneath. Yes, I am. And I'm going to tell you why. From a journalistic frame of reference, he's not doing anything but creepypasta. He's not capturing the spirit of the story. If you have any wrinkles in your brain anyway, he is not. That is not what he's doing. Okay? You can tell he's got his legs crossed while he's fucking doing it. BT dubs. I'm convinced he's sitting there in a pair of shorts with one leg crossed over the other. And he'll tell you about the underwater goblins in Ohio. Pulling young ladies under the water or whatever. But then what he's going to do is he's not going to give you the receipts. And this is what I hate. How I always ran this channel was to go and get the receipts before telling the story, and then to let you guys make of it what you will. That's the point of this whole thing. Make of it what you will. I'm not going to sell it to you because, fuck, I don't know how true it is. There's a deer running by. Oh, guys. Hell yeah. Oh, there's a few of them. Big ones. Okay, sorry. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm looking at these deer. Hold on. You guys can wait for a second. It's scary. It's scary when you hear them coming because they kind of sound like people. So, did Atlantic Records take out Oliver Tree? P. Who the fuck is Oliver Tree? We'll get around to it. Yeah, nature nuke. I'm out. I'm way more in tune with nature. I'm doing a lot of gardening and stuff lately. Am I close to probably a number of them. I'm doing a lot of gardening. Oh yeah, Andu can run and catch deer, allegedly. Is that the new lore? That's funny lore. I like that. So yeah, it used to be, I was trying to give this shit a chance because I was like, well, this is beating me. This is clearly beating, I can't compete with this. I guess the only decent video I ever did was Riverside Monster, and I just can't compete. And I'm just going to go back to just making cartoons and stuff, which I did. Haha. But, you know, I was like, look, as far as content, this mystery stuff, I guess I can't deliver as good as these guys do. But then when I forced myself to sit through it and look at it, I went, fuck, this is what's good? That kind of rubbing your face. The guy rubs his face a lot too. Sitting there clearly, you know, looking like you got your legs crossed, talking in this kind of voice as if it's that ghost story voice that they put on. Well, as it turns out, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, fucking stop it. How do you have a beard like that and be talking like that, bro? Don't be talking like that unless you got mascara on. Rule number 1. Atlantic got him. Okay, so I don't know. So apparently Oliver Tree, like this is some kind of conspiracy. This is something I'm going to have to look into. I don't know. Adam S. apparently knows. Black knows. P knows. I haven't looked into the Oliver Tree thing. Are they doing videos about it? I'm sure. Hey, I bet you that you could just go watch what is it? What Lurks Beneath? Go watch What Lurks Beneath's vid on that, and I'm sure he'll rub his face and cross his legs and kind of talk to you suggestively about that and try and sell it to you as if it needs to be sold desperately, right? What is it? What do you think you're gonna do when you're out on a sit? Okay, it's either fuck or walk. Hit the bricks. So there were stories that I had covered, and then I would look and then see the way that these are told, and then I would realize, well, here's what's missing: the receipts, as in, you know, newspaper clippings, whatever you can dig up, right? A proper picture of that point in time of the era. Usually these are American stories, so why not? Okay, well, give us the rundown of that point in time. Okay, show it. Were there newspaper clippings? Show it to us, because that helps. It feels less like a story and more like history. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what was always important to me. History. That's it. That's what's, to me, interesting about these stories. It's like history. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. But we know that it was an event, or at least that it was something that was on people's minds. And it was something that newspapers were writing about. And so to me, if newspapers didn't write about it, it's not a story. That's not to say that newspapers are a good source. It's just, what it means is that it takes us back to an age where we didn't have the internet. And so when the stories are told in that way, and you present people with as much photography of the place and newspaper clippings and stuff like that, it at least reminds you, hey, people were telling this story in an age long before the internet. It adds a little bit, I'm not going to say credibility, but it adds a little bit more humanity to the story. Well, WLB, is that what we'll say? Okay, WLB. What he does is he'll tell you the stories, and some of these are ones that I had done research on, and would pull up even microfilm and stuff. And I would just think to myself, dude, you're not even telling it right. You're telling it the way you learned it through a game of telephone, through multiple YouTube videos. You did your research on YouTube, brother. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get out the game, bro. Get out the game. If you're too fucking lazy, and I promise you all these millionaires are, they are too lazy. If you're too lazy to log onto a computer and pull up a newspaper archive and find that fucking story, if you can't be asked to do that, and when your only job, by the way, is to sit in that chair in front of that light in that boring ass background and sit there and talk, and this is your only job, you ain't sweating for this, bro. I don't want to hear you whine and complain and go, yeah, well, the opinion they have, how many people does he hire? I don't know. I guarantee he's got a team. Okay, if he can't be asked to go and pull the receipts, have somebody on the team do it. Well, apparently they can't either. Yeah, I'm going in. Guys, most of YouTube is bullshit. And this is coming from a guy who is currently, I'm working in YouTube, okay? And I'm happy, like, where I'm at. This isn't, oh, he's Gigi mad. I don't give, dude, I'll toast this channel right now. I don't give a shit. I'm telling you guys the abject truth. It's something that I suspect you already know in the back of your head. YouTube is no different from old Hollywood bullshit. Stuff that we don't like gets made very, very, very popular. Because it's homogenized like milk powder bullshit. That's why it has to be. And when it's not, what it is, it gets worked out, right? The algorithm and all, especially increasingly with AI. And people even using AI tools to help them curate sets of ideas and plans and things on how to run their channel. This is only going to get worse. I tell you this now. Be good, P. Yeah, it's all slop. Now, for people who do want to just hear a spooky story, what I'm trying to say is, I realized that was never my audience, man. And so that's why I was like, man, I'm gonna step over here and get busy with this other shit. For me, and maybe P was on to something, who he's bouncing now, but you're talking about the Art Bell stuff. I think you need to leave this up to your viewer, in that you do need to be kind of cynical about it. You can't be a wide-eyed believer while you're recounting these stories of American myth. Why should you be? If you're the storyteller, that's not your job. I don't think. That may be the reaction of the audience. But you shouldn't be sitting there like a wide-eyed believer and saying, it was then that they found blah, blah, blah. She had disappeared from near mile marker 129. But it gets even crazier. Like, who the fuck talks like that? No, we don't need that. There's so much of that. As a matter of fact, that's all that it is. I realize, hold on, where's Dan? You realize what he represents, guys. He has always represented it. It's in front of your face. Look at it. I've been telling you about this, and I'll continue to do it. What are you looking at? What is the image being displayed on the screen right now? This is a symbol. This is the state of the YouTubes. This is the state of all entertainment. And it's going to continue until morale improves. Where was I? I'm just saying, what lurks beneath sucks. I don't like that type of high strangeness and paranormal material. I don't like it. I don't want to be told this stuff by a wide-eyed fucking believer. I want to be told this stuff by someone who themselves can't make heads or tails of it, and is more likely than not to say, listen, You know, it's probably bullshit, but, you know, here's some interesting newspaper clippings. And then here are some direct quotes of what some of the people who witnessed it said. And we'll just try and make light of this as much as possible. But perhaps there is something weird going on. I think we all suspect that there is. Let's keep calm now, though, right? Would that it would be done that way. It's it. What is it? I know, Adam. It's the problem. Whatever it is, it's a problem. So I watched a safety brake. I can't have too many of those now, Mr. Sutton. Don't encourage me. Don't be an enabler. Maybe a cherry cola, though. Let's grab me a cherry cola. Hold on. What we got? Just do some more frakes real quick. I'll get lazy.
Have you ever walked out of a mall into a huge parking area and realized you'd forgotten where you parked your car? Ever gone mountain biking? What do you want to be when you grow up? What's the right tip? Have you called a plumber to your home lately? How superstitious are you? How much money would it take?
Do I have the beam? Okay, I don't have a beam. I do have a black screen. That's good enough for me. You got to know when to hold on. Getting a cherry coke on. Know when to fold on. Yikes. Oh, I got a boxer's fracture on my left hand. Middle finger. Nothing can be done about it. I heard that black screens get viewers, by the way. Right, Ned? Okay. So here we go. The color out of space. It's taking forever to land that fucking plane. The color out of space is the first film I ever watched that faithfully and successfully adapted a Lovecraft short story. And I was immediately shocked that I hadn't watched it, or even that I had avoided it for years. And you would think that Nicolas Cage would spoil this movie because you're going to constantly be reminded that this is Nicolas Cage. He's inescapable. But then again, so is like the beings in a Lovecraft tale. And I realized his brand of, Nicolas Cage's brand of like mania was really well suited to the character that he was playing. Well, in the old story, it's not, it might be Nathaniel Gardner or something like that. Anyway, I think they call him Nathan Gardner in the movie. And so I want to see, just before I continue about this, how many of you have seen The Color Out of Space that are watching right now? Just let me know, like, with a C, a yeah, I've seen it. If you haven't, just be like, nah. How many of you have seen this movie? Because I wouldn't want to spoil it for you, but I kind of want you to watch it. Never heard. Okay. Haven't watched it. All right. It says Black. Despite all his rage, he's still just a Nick in a cage. Yeah. What? Yeah, Nuke hasn't seen it. Drunk hasn't seen it. Mr. Sutton hasn't seen it. Yeah, okay. All right, that's a good picture of who hasn't seen it. None of you. Jeez, not a one of you? Has anybody seen it? The Color Out of Space. I implore you, if you're looking for a good movie, and maybe I'm weird. Maybe most people aren't into Lovecraft. And so maybe it hits different. I love that that phrase is already out of date, by the way, so now I'm going to start saying it. So I'm going to pitch it to you, okay? And in order to pitch it to you, you got to understand what a good Lovecraft story is about. Okay, H.P. Lovecraft, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. The godfather of modern American horror, and certainly of cosmic horror. Now, here's what cosmic horror is. It's high strangeness. If you were to take kind of the stuff we talk about a lot, and have, historically, shit, it's been, 7 or more months since I last got with you guys. But hey, it's summer and we know what the next season is. It's coming back around again. It's coming back around again. Always does, man. Fall, autumn. We'll be talking about unspeakable. There you go. Yeah, high strangeness, man. It's the things that are so weird. It's very hard to describe them. The things that are unspeakable or unnameable. In the Mouth of Madness is peak cosmic horror, says Adam S. Yeah, I would. It's definitely. Hey, no pun intended, too, right? It's definitely peak, but that almost implies like a singularity, solitude, and I really like, as I've said before, The Shadow over Innsmouth, but is The Shadow over Innsmouth cosmic, right? It doesn't have to be. So, sure, I'll just agree with you. I'll agree with you, Adam S., because Shadow over Innsmouth is my fave. I'd like to do my own telling or reading, or even maybe a cartoon of that. An adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, by the way. But keeping things on track. If it weren't for Lovecraft, we wouldn't have Clive Barker or Stephen King. I don't like either of those guys, by the way. We may not have a John Carpenter. We definitely wouldn't have a Robert Bloch, who did Psycho and was a big fan of Lovecraft. There's a lot of things we would not have. And so the stories that I have always liked to talk about with you guys that happen in America's history of things that don't make a lot of sense. Things like God forbid, the Riverside Monster, or the Wolf Woman, or whatever it may be. And we look at them, or the Mothman, or the Flatwoods Monster, or whatever, and we look at these things and we go, God, it's so bizarre. It suggests almost that there are like some kind of fucking demons or horrible things on the fringe of our reality. And it's not Frankenstein and werewolves and vampires. No, it's worse than that. This isn't gothic horror. It's cosmic horror. It's Joe Rogan kind of a horror. Like, we wouldn't have David Cronenberg, I suspect, without Lovecraft. And the list goes on. Now, so that's kind of how cosmic horror works. Is it's the idea that there are things from other dimensions or some fringe that you can't even see, something beyond you that if you encounter them, then you are very unlucky to have encountered it, because it's a horror that goes against reality. It's not based in it. In fact, it's the opposite. It is based in outside of it. And you then have to come to understand that your reality is feeble. And it's teetering, and it could fall and break, and you will go insane. And so you can imagine why this is my favorite brand of a scary story, are the ones where you go, fuck that. That goes against my entire understanding. That makes you uncomfortable. How bizarre. Adam. How bizarre. Chevy 65. Circus people, clowns, and other kinds of jive. I don't know, that's my version of the song. Oh. I can't remember the lyrics, but I know they were really stupid. The cop pulled us over. He said, I like your ride. We were there just chilling in a Chevy 65. How bizarre. That song is making a comeback because I keep hearing it in commercials. This is a terrible song. Yeah, I know. Go read the lyrics. Like, pull up your Apple Music or whatever. Read the lyrics of that song while it's playing, and it's just, yeah, loved it. I know, Adam, I'm a big fan of Steal My Sunshine. That's a good summer song. Steal My Sunshine by Lynn. That's another stupid-ass song with really dumb lyrics. Where you kind of got to make up you kind of know the gist of the lyrics, but you make them up over again in your head. And they're only equally stupid. They're not stupider, they're just only equally stupid. I was riding on the grass the Sunday morning of last week. Like, what are you talking about? Indulging in my self-defeat. You don't, nah. And then I met some friends, and we had some fun. And here's this chick, and she made some cinnamon buns. So stupid. Steal My Sunshine. Yeah, good summer song. Put that one on, millennial. You fucking millennial. You fucking zennial millennial. Go play your banjo-kazooie and listen to Steal My Sunshine, you fucking midlife crisis having fucking waste of oxygen. Go do it. Go do the thing. Go watch compilations of Nickelodeon production bumpers. Sleep Number, Tempur-Pedic commercials. You fucking survivor, you. Go crawl into your cocoon. It's the only way that... Just put the maggots back inside your head, is what I'm trying to say. You must be G-Slur. You loved that one too, Black. Does that mean I am too? Fuck it. I'm coming out. I like Steal My Sunshine by Lynn. I think it's a fantastic summer song. I listened to Sublime's self-titled album on repeat. I'm totally a normie simp that listens to the Sublime self-titled. I've on shuffle, no less. I'm in the mood. Are you ready? Oh yeah. All right. Lovecraft. So see, now we're really in the mood for perfectly Lovecraftian horror. Yes, take that sunny world that you know of Lynn's Steal My Sunshine and How Bizarre and 90s commercials and nostalgia and midlife crises. All right? And now all of a sudden, some weird thing descends from a portal in the fucking sky, which you can't see, by the way, because of the canopy of trees amid these, how do you pronounce Charnel ruins of dilapidated, horrible shit and vines and weeds. And here in this Gothic setting, usually in a New England kind of a setting, a moldering Victorian architecture, space and the cosmos are the furthest thing from your mind, except for when they're not. I think I just did a really good job, by the way. Thank you, me. Why? You're welcome. You're welcome, Skinny. I think I just did a really good job of explaining what the herb the spice is of Lovecraft is that, okay, take your normal place of fear, which is the decrepit Victorian moldering old ruins or cemetery or whatever it may be, and now something is going to come out of fucking space or another dimension and fuck with you and everyone you love, and by the end of it your sanity couldn't possibly survive, and that's more horrible than just getting eaten alive. And that's funny. Yesterday you said you'd call serious. Call it there. You call now. I'll call now. What is that from? Why is that so familiar, D? Oh. Now, The Color Out of Space is worth your time for the following reason. After I'm done with this broadcast, you're going to watch it. Go in, and I want you to go in looking for a Nicolas Cage movie, by the way, because this is what I did. It's the reason why I avoided it. I was like, there's no way Nicolas Cage is in a good Lovecraft film. It's just not going to happen. And because I went in with that mindset is exactly why it was so good. And I was so pleasantly surprised. The Color Out of Space is an old Lovecraft short story about the Gardner family. And they live just outside of Arkham, the fictional town of Arkham, Massachusetts. And this was Lovecraft's, kind of like Derry with Stephen King. You know, people have their fictional town. Lovecraft's was a place called Arkham. Good night, Bill. And waking up with an eye in the center of your hand. Yeah, that's pretty Lovecraftian, Mr. Sutton. Yeah, that's the ticket. It's that kind of shit. And this family has a very pastoral life, unremarkable kind of a life. Bucolic surroundings. And all of a sudden, one night, a meteor strikes their property and emits colors that are not normally perceptible by the human eye. In other words, imagine seeing a color that you've never seen before. It's hard for us to imagine because the only frames of reference we have are other colors. So we can't even imagine a color that we haven't seen yet. Most of us. Depends on how much psilocybin you eat, I guess. But that's what happens. And this object, meteorite, if you will, emits a color that these people have never seen. And I'm not going to spoil the whole story for you because I really want you guys to watch the movie because it does a good job at capturing the events of the story. But it starts distorting time and space all around it. People experiencing, the people very near to where this thing hit, the family begin losing their sanity and their health. The vegetation in the area starts turning weird. And if for any of them, which is most of you, if you've seen Creepshow, that segment that Stephen King did where he's the farmer. Remember that one? Where the asteroid hits and all the vegetation starts growing at a rapid rate and consuming him. That's kind of loosely based on The Color Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft. So think a similar vibe to that. Okay, something weird crashed into the yard. The plants are behaving strangely now. It seems to me like Stephen King just took that part and then made a Creepshow short out of it. But in the Lovecraft story, it's a little bit more complicated than that. In fact, it's a lot more complicated than that. The family starts experiencing health issues, and the water goes bad, the well water. There's a color that no one can quite describe that they see. Their they kind of start losing their minds, each one in their own individual ways. The livestock starts becoming corrupted. And are we talking? Well, yeah, well, sort of, only in a roundabout way. Gamma, she says, are we talking about Stephen? No, I'm talking about Howard Phillips Lovecraft, and I'm talking about specifically the first good Lovecraft adaptation that I've ever seen as far as a movie goes. That's going to be The Color Out of Space, 2019. Well, I watched it, and when it was over, I went, my God, they did it. I don't know who they are yet, but they did it. This was a very good horror movie, let alone Lovecraft adaptation. And the only critiques I had about it was that it was a little bit unbelievable that they would have kids as young as they did. Nicolas Cage and Jolie Richardson, considering they both look 1,001 years old. We'll go ahead and set that aside because their acting in the movie is very good. They definitely do a good job of portraying a mom and a dad who, because of the presence of this fucking space rock that crashed into their yard, this alien space rock, are not safe people. And they're not good parents. And you can tell almost that it's kind of not even their fault. It's not anyone's fault. This thing drives you mad. And that's only the first thing. It'll then begin to corrupt your body and turn you into like a weird, it hybridizes stuff. Weird colored plants start growing around their house. And then Nicolas Cage is trying to grow tomatoes and peaches and stuff like that. They grow incredibly large, and this is true to the story as well. The vegetation, like the vegetables and stuff that they're growing and fruits, grow incredibly large, and they look very good. But when you bite into them, they taste awful, or they have no flavor at all. And the insects and the trees and nature is just disturbed. And this gets worse and worse and worse. And I'm not going to spoil the story or the movie because they're both very good. But so the best thing that I could say is it's a Lovecraft story. So it's not going to end well. Typically when you read these kinds of stories, it's not going to be really a good time at the end because the thing that has happened is kind of irreversible and really bad. It's cosmic horror. There's nothing anybody on the planet of Earth is going to be able to do about it. You kind of just got to survive it. And that's what happens. I was shocked and I went, my God, Cage was good in this, and I thought that he was going to ruin it. So I did a little bit of research about it, and I realized the director, who was, hold on, I have to pull up his name again. Remember back in school, we were told about this guy. Hold on. Richard something or other? Richard Stanley, there we go. A South African film director, and he hadn't worked since The Island of Dr. Moreau. He was originally supposed to direct The Island of Dr. Moreau, the one that had Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer in it. Well, he got fired from the production, and then that's a whole story unto itself. He was hanging out around the set, but he was blacklisted. He was kicked off the set, and so he kind of went crazy out in the woods. It was an Apocalypse Now kind of scenario. And he hadn't worked since then. And so he comes back and then he directs Color Out of Space. And I was like, well, damn. Man, that was good. And then the Me Too thing happened, right? And during like 2020 or something, I guess his wife came forward and said that they had past court battles for allegations of abuse, etc. And so the company that put out Color Out of Space was like, well, we won't be working with Richard Stanley anymore. You know how it goes, okay? I don't know, that it all seems kind of dubious to me. because he had just made a bunch of money off of The Color Out of Space. Isn't that interesting? That's not to say that I think that that entire movement was bullshit. Matter of fact, I think, a lot of stuff came to light that we already knew. It seems like other people couldn't wrap their head. They're like, hey, Harvey Weinstein's a freaking monster. Check it out. I mean, you got to be sure about that, right? I mean, look, aren't you so sure? By the way, I have a theory that Quentin Tarantino turned state's witness during all of that. And I think he left the clues in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But that's because I'm crazy, right? It's just because I'm a little crazy. So here you have Richard Stanley make this fantastic... And he was planning to do a trilogy. Well, supposedly he still is. Because what he was going to do was Color Out of Space and then the Dunwich Horror, which has only ever had, I think, one or two other film adaptations. The very first one had Dean Stockwell in it. I hate that version. He was going to do the Dunwich Horror and then afterward do Call of Cthulhu. Or Cthulhu, if you want to, I guess, be proper about it. And, by the way, supposedly Lovecraft told people that it was kind of like more like a cough, and that when you said the word, there wasn't really a proper way to say it, and that the closest way to a proper way was Cthulhu. But if you go back and read like what Lovecraft said about the proper pronunciation, he said there kind of isn't one. It's cosmic horror, baby. These things have weird names that don't even come anywhere close to our ability to pronounce them. That was kind of the idea. Who are we congratulating? Hold on. Who deserves congratulations here? The Abyss. The shit Abyss. Yeah, welcome to it, Axis. How you doing, by the way? So, I highly recommend The Color Out of Space. Again, based on the Lovecraft short story and starring Nicolas Cage. And, what's-her-face, Liam Neeson's wife's, departed wife's sister, what was it, Jolie Richardson, yeah. I think our local tribe has a sound for that, LOL. So what I've always wanted to do, speaking of which, while I'm in the neighborhood, and this is something I still think about a lot, what I've always wanted to do was take my animation skills, none of which, by the way, have been displayed here on this channel. I mean, what you do see here is just like minimal effort shit. There's only so much time in the day. When you get hired as an animator and then you kind of have to, and you're using more elaborate tools and stuff and learning other newer ones, it has a way of it reinvigorating you to want to go back and do a few really cool things. And that's basically what's going on with me. Is I think something that I would like to do is to do The Shadow over Innsmouth, the story by H.P. Lovecraft. And I'm reading that, Axis. Oh, no problem. Flash? What, like the animation program? Talking about Axis? I work with Procreate Dreams 2 lately. Been doing a lot of good stuff with that. As a matter of fact, that it could benefit this channel if ever when I have time for it. And I increasingly have like less and less time. I'm trying to figure that out. So content will, if there is any, it's going to be few and far between. But it'll be damn good, I tell you that. Because all my passion, all my love, this is where it'll go. Oh, joking? Yeah, I hate Adobe so much. I canceled my Adobe subscription because they're worthless. But that's another matter entirely. Adobe's truly worthless. I picked up Procreate Dreams 2. And it is so much better than Adobe Animate. No matter how advanced Adobe Animate claims to be. I will say a lot of the work I've been doing lately elsewhere, I notice in the animation industry, a lot of people think that everything's AI. And that's really disheartening when you work 60 hours a week, and then people are like, nice AI. Like, so wait, you just see stuff and you think they're all AI now? That's so crazy. It's almost like you're hastening an awful conclusion to humanity, which is you become so cynical that you see people doing the best of the human endeavor as much as they can muster anyway, and then going, yeah, probably AI. Good God. That's how AI wins. It doesn't win by being good. It wins by convincing you that it is everywhere. That's how it wins, you fucking numbskull. Should be out there looking for the human endeavor and finding it. You will if you look. And that really grinds my gears. Yeah, you want to see some new K-Dama? I would like to get to it. Thank you, Farmer John. Yeah, we don't talk about where I animate right now, right? That's a secret. We don't talk about where I work. But what I'm trying to tell you is that because of where I work, I don't really care about impressing like newers over here. That's why we're doing it so fast and loose. I just don't care. I'm not saying I don't care about you guys. I love you guys. I'm not saying I don't care about the material I'm talking about. This is like I'm literally vlogging practically right now, right? I'm just talking about what's on my mind. Yeah. Q Barton Fink meltdown. I am a creator. I am a creator. That's really funny that you mentioned that, Adam, because I was on a project a few months ago, and it was the Wallace Beery shit. It was like a parallel. It was Wallace Beery, dude. And I found myself understanding that I was in a Barton Fink situation. But just so you guys know, I think my dream project would be a properly written and voiced and cut, like adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth. And it's a story that I think everybody should read. Just anybody, everybody should read. And maybe best experienced in audiobook format. Again, if you want to, if you want to get in the saddle with me, If you want to get in the saddle with me, I tell you now, pull up the old school audiobook of Shadow over Innsmouth once again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to find it for you guys. Screw it. I'm pulling it up. Hold on. Give me a second. Because there's only one, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay? Oh boy, it's telling me to sign in to my own chat. Kiss my grits, man. Can't be done in Streamlabs desktop. Ah, shit. I should have been signed in before I went live. The one with the picture. Yeah, the channel is called... I'll tell you here in a second. H.P. Lovecraft audiobook, quite literally. Like H.P. Lovecraft audiobook is the name of the channel. When you type in The Shadow over Innsmouth, or Innsmouth, most people say Innsmouth, but I'm telling it to you that way so you know how to spell it. Innsmouth. Make sure that it's the one from H.P. Lovecraft audiobook. That's the name of the channel. And you'll see the more famous picture of Lovecraft himself in black and white, just leering in front of a brick wall. Which is, by the way, the only image I want to see while listening to a Lovecraft story, by the way. Oh, hell yeah. That's cool. That's cool, Farmer John. When I win Powerball, I'm buying Super Bowl halftime commercials for Skinny to play with. Yeah, I'm just going to play with them. Yeah, Mr. Sutton, that's the voice. You already hear it? It's wild. That guy, I think his name was Conrad something or other. People mention it in the comments. There's a lot of olders who apparently were very familiar with those audiobook tapes or had that collection who say he is the only voice. I have to agree with them. It's when you're listening to this version that I'm recommending to you guys, it sounds like it came off of an old record or tape. It definitely was recorded on magnetic tape. It has the proper timbre and tone and a little bit of hiss, and his voice is a little bit just very slightly gainy and distorted like a tape would be. And he's got just the perfect voice for telling that story. And he did a number of Lovecraft stories, and I recommend all of them. So if you ain't got time to read, then at least listen, right? Yeah. Good work, Mr. Sutton. Mr. Sutton says, I'm sold. You all should be. I think it's a must. If there's one thing I could tell you guys, and trust me, I have little time. I'm trying to take as much as I can tonight to get with you, because tomorrow's Monday, baby. I'm going to be working. But the very spirit of this channel, a large part of it is in that part of my brain that is affected by that story, specifically that version, that reading of the story. And what's up, Quo? I see you now. No, when I do these, so hold on, quick PSA. Quo, my brother, I love you. Always have. I don't know if you guys know this. Maybe you have or you haven't. When I do these streams, and it's been this way for a long time, I lean up really close to my laptop and I stare at like trees and shit in the sky. It helps me. I think I might be terrible at this, but it helps me to talk more freely without feeling kind of like I'm on a stage or I'm like trying to perform or something. Does that make sense to you? Now, it offers the disadvantage of maybe having a really jumbled presentation later on, where it's like, land the fucking plane, man. But at least I'm being as real as I can. Does that make sense? I'm being as real as I can be. Because I'm not looking at the chat. And so then I miss out. Like, people might be saying stuff. And the reason I'm not ignoring it, I'm ignoring all of you. You get it? When I do look, usually during a safety meeting or something, when I do look, I'll try and catch up. But I just kind of, I stare off into space, or I look like right now, I'm just looking at these trees, man. Beautiful trees. And kind of I'm hunched over. No, I'm not. Wait, I'm breaking the fourth wall. No, I'm standing in front of a mystery wagon is what I'm doing with my dead horse, right? With my dead horse and my lost parachutist. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Matter of fact, here, let's switch to the wagon screen. Booger Gang TV. Glad to see you on. Keep fighting the good fight. Always will be. But I think it's highly necessary for you guys to go and listen to that audio book. And this is the only time in my life where I would ever recommend a different media, like is that the word, adaptive media? Perhaps that's something other than the original literature is what I'm saying, right? Normally I would tell you, turn a page, read the words. But in this case, I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, listen to the audio book of The Shadow over Innsmouth on the channel called HP Lovecraft Audiobooks. We're spanning time, right? I only drive cars that shift themselves. They shift their cars. They shift themselves, okay? We're spanning time. listen to that, and I'm going to give you an overview of the story. Excuse me, I'm taking a sip of my drink, which is a cherry Coke, by the way. A man, it's supposed to be a coming of age for a man who has graduated college and is deciding to travel up and down the eastern seaboard, seeing historic places before he puts down roots. And so he's taken the time to see some old places. He's a man who is fond of history, much like yours truly. Perhaps this is why I relate to this story so much now I think about it. Duh, it's like fucking duh, bro. And he's into the history of America and seeing places that have that kind of history. And he mentions this there at the top of his story, that he has graduated and wishes to see that, and, you know, just so see it just because it's there, kind of a thing. And he's trying to get from, I can't remember if it was from Newburyport to Arkham, which is a fictional city, fictional town. But he's up there in New England, and he finds himself a little bit short on money at the train station. Or rather, at least he's trying to save a little bit of money, because the fare for him to get from Newburyport to Arkham, Massachusetts, again, a fictional place, is a little bit steep. And so the ticket taker tells him, well, there's a bus that you can take. It's cheaper. You'll have to go through a town called Innsmouth. And nobody likes the fucking place. And the people from there are weird. And they don't get along with outsiders very well. And outsiders tend not to like them, which is why most people don't take that bus. But you can take it. You can take that bus. And our main character decides, well, I'm into that. It's actually interesting to him. Wait a minute, and I'm paraphrasing, or almost directly quoting the book, I should say, when he says, a place so hated by so many people, I have to see it. He makes that decision in his head. Well, if the place could have that such notoriety that it doesn't show up on most, mainstream maps, then I got to see it. And the ticket taker gives him a brief history of what he knows about the town, which is that the people are weird and they all have a certain look about them. Usually they got bulging eyes, or alopecia, or skin conditions and things like that, and they're a little bit odd. And that there's a history of inbreeding in the town, but that it was once a boom town with a decent gold industry, that had a gold refinery, and that they were a fishing town above all else, and that they were kind of notorious for the sheer amount of fish that they could catch, even in times when it seemed overfished, the ocean seemed overfished, and other towns couldn't get fish. They could always get fish, and that this was based on a rumor. Not that I understand how or why. What the fuck is that? Oh my God, I had an orb weaver crawling on my neck. This place hits home hard. Yeah, right? Mr. Burke, brother. I just had a giant spider on my neck, guys. I hope it didn't get me. Ooh. I know I'm out in the cut. This seaside town full of very strange people. Well, that there was lore, and this is all the ticket taker telling the guy. That's the only unbelievable part. I don't think a ticket taker, it's like, hey, get back to work, asshole. How do you have this much time to explain the town's history to this fella? Yeah, I know. I've had some ticks on me already, Farmer John. Yeah, ticks are so hot. I've had 3 of them on me. I might have the disease. Might have that Lovecraftian tick disease. But so the ticket taker tells the guy, there's a legend that the town was founded, okay, back in the 1820s by a guy named Captain Obed or Obadiah Marsh. And he was a privateer of sorts who had been out in Polynesia somewhere, or the Fiji Islands, or some sort of place, and encountered people who worshipped an unnamed ocean god, and that he, by coming back to his hometown of Innsmouth, started telling the churches, hey, start worshiping different gods and you'll get more fish. And so they did. Slowly over time, it started to gutting the things of tradition in the town, the old Mason halls and the churches and everything. Everyone starts joining this cult called the Order of Dagon, which was, by the way, the god that they began to worship, Dagon, which in Lovecraftian mythos was like the dark god of the sea. And what happened, again, this is all coming from the ticket taker before the guy even goes to see the town, which is kind of cool that they do this because it builds up a lot in your head before you're introduced to this environment, is that after Captain Marsh turned it into a boom town with a huge fishing industry and tons of gold, which is suspected to have been like demons perhaps, demons from under the water were giving them strange gold, and hence the refinery that they opened and so on. That the town became a boom town, but at the same time as it became a boom town, the people started to become corrupted physically, let alone spiritually, and basically that they were mating with these fish monsters, or fish frogs, as it could be called. Deep ones be another term for it. This race that has always lived for countless millennia in the ocean, silently watching us, who could destroy us if they wanted to, but simply don't. And instead opting to try and breed with us until we're kind of all the same. And that what happens is you achieve immortality. You grow gills, right? You start to mutate into this fucking fish thing, and you achieve immortality because you then return to the ocean, to your quote-unquote ancestors. It's very creepy thought. Now, why a ticket taker would have this much knowledge to be able to talk about it for what seems to be a half hour with a guy before he's even gone to the town, beyond me, but necessary exposition. It'd be kind of hard to set this thing up. It's why Lovecraft stories are hard to adapt. So you have a ticket, and then listen, it's all justified by the guy saying, but that doesn't all go over with me. I'm from Panton, Vermont. Now, I'm not from Vermont, so it's just funny to me. The guy's like, I mean, me personally, I think it's all bullshit. That doesn't go over where I come from, in Panton, Vermont. And that's how the ticket taker kind of writes it off. He says, it's probably all bullshit. It's just the murmuring. This is the folklore about this place that you're going, is that they're all not quite human, is what he's trying to tell the guy. Well, the guy who's, I believe he's unnamed. I don't think the main character is named, by the way. He gets on the bus, and then when the bus pulls up, and this is early in the era of automobiles in general, when the bus pulls up, he realizes the driver's really fucking weird looking. There's something not quite right. It's called the Innsmouth look. Something not quite right about this guy. And so he takes a ride. He's going to save some money, and he takes a ride. On his way to Arkham, he's going to stop in Innsmouth, and he figures that he'll just stop for the day and then hit the road again that evening. Hit the last bus out is what he plans to do. Well, what he arrives at is the seaside town where hardly any of the population's left. Something like less than 20% of the people that ever live, or buildings are even occupied anymore. Most of what he sees are buildings of various Victorian style architecture, seaside Victorian type shit. And they're all boarded up. And everything's rotting and smells like fish. The churches are all collapsed. And the only place still good looking is their weird culty church that used to be the old Mason Hall. And just the detail about the town, about the architecture, about what it used to be as opposed to what it seems to be now, and so on, is so good that it paints a vivid picture in your mind of this horrible, creepy place by the ocean. I grew up by the ocean. But in the southeast, not the northeast. So that weird old Victorian New England kind of cold, chilly, smelly, dank ocean bullshit. Like I don't have any experience with that. This story would be really my only experience with that sort of thing. And he gets stuck. This character gets stuck in the town of Innsmouth in the worst way. So I'll try and be as spoiler-free as possible. But because I really do, I would read this or listen to the audio version of it. The only guy that he can even remotely trust in the town is a drunk who he gets the rest of the story out of. And a guy named, I think his name's Zadok Allen. It's the name of the drunk. And the drunk's about 98 years old, so he can remember all the way back to like the 1800s when he was a child, the early 1800s. And he's trying to tell this guy, you know, I was here, I seen it when it changed, and this is what really happened in the town. And the only reason they let me live is because I'm a fucking drunk. That's basically what this guy's telling me. The only reason I'm living today and telling you this is because they figure I'm a drunk, man. And I am a drunk. But I'm telling you, this is why I'm drunk. This place is fucking cursed. These people are mutants. They have dealings with creatures from the ocean that are an advanced race. And what happens is they breed. These families have been breeding with them, and some of them don't die. And they fake their fucking deaths. But what really happens is they get so mutated they can't be seen in public anymore. And they go swim into the ocean, man, to go live forever with these creatures. And this guy can't get out because it becomes quickly evident that he knows too much and they're going to sacrifice him or kill him or God knows what they're going to do. And the description of the night, the following night, because it gets dark and then the bus won't get him out of town. And he rents a hotel room at a hotel called the Gilman. I know it's a little bit on the nose, but whatever. Gets a room at what's called the Gilman Hotel, and his description of events beginning there in the story of coming to an understanding that people are trying to get into his hotel room and probably kill him in the ways that are unimaginable. And one thing I want to draw attention to for what I love about this story is the description of what he hears. Now, this is a story written in, I think, maybe somewhere between 29 and 32, something like that. Maybe 33. Long time ago, almost 100 years ago, this story was written. Shit, it may have been 100 years ago. I'm going to look right now. When was The Shadow over Innsmouth written? I think it could have been as early as 26. Let's see. 31. 1931. And this guy's writing this story, and here's his description of like what the guy in his hotel room is hearing when he realizes they're coming for him. he hears kind of hysterical murmurings and babbling from these people, but he's not even sure all of it's in the English language. And worse still, mixed into the mob of voices, he hears low croaks and kind of dolphin type sounds and shit. He hears voices that issuing from humans that don't sound human. There's something about that that's rad, that's like really scary to me. That if you had an angry mob in the middle of the night decide they were going to they're trying to get your ass outside, and you start hearing among them chittering sounds and low inhuman barks and walrus noises and weird shit like that, then you would realize that what the drunk was telling you and what the ticket taker is telling you was true. Hey, that's, yeah, Tom Waits. Adam S. What is it about the tree? It doesn't have any children of his own, you see. There's a tire swing hanging from, what is it, cottonwood tree, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I know that one. Oh man, I was watching The Black Rider. Did I already talk about that, Adam S? You've watch the production of The Black Rider, the Hamburg or Berlin, one of the two. The William S. Burroughs stage play that Tom Waits did the music for. Man, that's definitely Adam S. material. I'll tell you that right now. I know that to be true. That's a whole other shit. I'm doing like 10 streams at once, right? Hey, I'm backed up, right? Just backed up. Sometimes when you're backed up like that, it just... Such a bizarre little... Come on along, this is a Black Rider. We'll have a gay old time. It's a creepy song, by the way. So The Shadow over Innsmouth is one of those stories. I won't tell you how it ends. Does the guy get away? Do they sacrifice him? Does he, what happens? Won't tell you. A great story, and it's one that Hello, Debbie. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It must be a blue moon, isn't it? No, it's not. I just had a little bit of time. But see, then here I only see you towards the end. I'll leave this one up. Maybe I'll leave it up forever. I don't know. I might as well, right? I'll leave this one up so you can go back if you want. I don't know what you can gain from this one. For anyone who missed it, I've spoke about the fire in Lexington, North Carolina that took out a small chunk of the historic district that I was working for months and months. And how odd that was. And that we've had family things going on. I've been away from this channel for a minute doing other stuff. I have a job as an animator now. For anybody who doesn't know, I want you to know so that you understand why I might, you don't see me often, or why I'm only just showing up, or even just how the hell I'm doing. Shit. But I'm working full time as an animator, and I'd be lying to you guys if I said I wasn't doing 60-hour weeks. It's tough work. I'm very tired, very, very, very tired. And tomorrow I'm back at it. And once you start getting deadlines, by the way, deadlines in the animation business are no fucking bueno. They're no fun either. It's not fun to be creative on a deadline and to know that if you do not meet that deadline, you will be screwed, okay? It's not, you're working, you're swimming against the current at all times. And while I have an employer who's just a real sweetheart who would rather I not be working so hard, it's kind of the perfectionist in me that makes me do that. What kind of other stuff, like a part 2 to the Halloween album with Portland? Oh, fuck no. No, there may not ever be another Halloween album. I don't think there would be time for something like that. I mean, that'd be fun. But let's put it this way. This might be a good way to close out this stream. Let's talk about where I started. Let's talk about PA. I started this channel coming out of, or off of, even springboarding kind of from PA's channel. But I realized after a while it was something so different, and then started to attract an audience of its own, right? And no, this is not my first Father's Day. Oof, no. No, this is my 9th. This is my 9th Father's Day. But thank you. So, it's funny. There's so much that I can't say because I can't talk about my job. But it's funny, the levels of coincidence, I guess you would say. It makes me realize where I've been and what kind of guy I am and what I kind of will just never get away from, it seems like, and so on. But PA is great. But because I'm free to, I'll tell you guys something. Let's go back home for a second. Those of us who, we will, won't we? Let's go back home. Soon to be 3, Black. That's the other thing. Is that an audience, let's just say the IRL streamer or even just live streaming audiences, they change like a roster. See if you can follow me on this. You guys tell me if I'm 5 by 5 on this one. Tell me if I'm coming through clearly. What happens is that over time, audiences shuffle until they're completely different. And you don't recognize anybody that you see anymore. And let's just say that you had worked on things or done things, and now these are completely new people looking at that thing. And they have no frame of reference for it. Okay? And then you start to wonder if they even understand it. Or maybe still you'd start to wonder if they even care for it. And then maybe if you've graduated enough, maybe you get a few more wrinkles in your brain and you go, what does it fucking matter anyway? You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter? It's kind of like watching leaves, but I compare it to, this is what I say about AI, for instance. How can you be entertained by AI? That'd be the same as like laughing at a tree falling over or leaves blowing around in a funny way. It's just something that's happening. There's no longer any touch of the personal in it for you. It's just, you're just watching a thing happen. So you guys can see why I get off on entertaining you. But what do I care about newer? I've always been this way. Why do I care about newers? Why do I care whether they like? I don't give a shit what they like. If they could be like, if they said, oh, this thing that you did was really awesome over here. What's the best? I'm going to say, okay, well, thank you. Right? And this does not come from a place of conceit either, but there is an honor. Who are you? Like, you ain't putting a sandwich in my fucking mouth. Well, so thank you. Now, that's not, again, don't take that as what I'm saying to you guys here now. I'm saying that's how it feels when you've done a thing somewhere else, But then over time, the audience has flipped, and you don't know anybody anymore. You don't know. You see what I'm saying? They care more about, like, so many other things even than this other thing that you did that has no frame of reference any longer there. Does that make sense? You had to be there. You had to be there. That's what it boils down to. And you guys were there. You see what I'm saying? Therefore, here we are. I guess that's the best way I can put it. I'm not looking for recognition. I am always looking for a thank you. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I value like a thanks more than most things. I'll put it this way as well. I don't want attention from many. I would rather have a thank you from one more than attention from 20. Does that make sense? And I'm not sure why that is. I wish I was smart enough to know why that was. I'm not. I don't know why. Yeah. And don't look too deeply into that. That wasn't a statement, by the way, on anything about like PA or his channel. I'm just that's a statement about my ethics, I guess, or why am I doing this? It's well, you guys are welcome. You're welcome. I'm not telling you I want to thank you from you either. I don't know. I don't know what I mean by that. But yeah, like, no. You guys, no, you don't need to thank me. I thank you. Let's get this one straight over here. Let's get this straight right now. Thank you. You fuckers need to understand that, and you need to hear it from me right now. Don't you be saying thank you to me. You're not who I want the thank you from. I thank you guys. That's it. You know, you come over here and you listen to this stuff, and I think that, and so I thank you for that. But what puts us all on the level together, I think, I really enjoyed reading the comments on your videos from regular people. I know, right? Oh, fucking regular folks, right? FJB. No, Adam, thank you. No. No, thank you. Don't thank me, thank you, Adam. I thank you guys, and here's why. This is still, even today, despite other places where I'm at, this is the only place that is mine, where I can just talk about whatever the fuck I want, which is usually just trying to share ideas and what I think is interesting. So that's why, again, I thank you guys, because if you also find it interesting and you've given me that time of day, that this is a show that you tune into and you listen to me ramble, which is exactly what it is 99.9% of the time. I've got no mission, guys. There's no mission here, and that's good. You see what I'm saying? Because I've worked in plenty of areas where there's a distinct mission. Well, we've got to hit this bottom line, or this thing must be accomplished. That's not what we're doing here. We're just hanging out. And I appreciate that, Toe. And hopefully we're taking the stuff that we like and talking about it, and I'll just be the voice while you guys are the chat, right? And so when I say what I want is a thank you, what I mean to say is, there are two things that are important to me when I do a service for someone else, which is usually how I operate, which is why this place is different. That's why I made it very clear that, well, this is my place. I'm a guy who goes and helps other YouTubers. This is established. This is not news. No pun intended. And we'll spend such and such a time just jamming for a while. And in the past have jammed for a while and moved on. But that's what I do. I'm a guy who, and I won't talk about these other YouTubers. There've been a number, right? And all great people, by the way. All good people who I'm interested in still and like to see and have goodwill towards, by the way. That includes PA too. But what I'm trying to say is that there are varying degrees of what you get back from each, okay? From one, you might get jobs or money back from it. From others, you might get an audience, or from others still, you might, it changes. But those are the missions, are working for these other YouTube channels. I have no mission here. I only have the stuff that I love. I want to talk with you guys about the stuff that I love, and you guys have sat here and listened to me talk about it, and it's fucking wild to me. There's a lot of people that have streams where they're just sitting there chilling, and you look, and it's like you see 10 people watching, and it's let's say some decrepit guy in fucking Wales, England or something, and you look at him, oh, by the grace of God, there he goes, poor guy. He just wants friends, he just wants attention, and God bless him. And I feel for those people. But let's remember too that there's bad people that do it, guys. TikTok is defined by this mode of thought, school of thought. If it's not even thought, is it? Whatever this is, a compulsion. Go look at TikTok and look at how many people you see who are clearly like gassed up, right? And they want to be a star or whatever it is. It's weird, this syndrome of fucking weirdos pointing a camera at themselves. And they don't have anything to offer you other than themselves. And they often seem to be the most problematic kinds of people. And I'm telling you now, watch out for these fucking people. Now, you might even be one of them. And if that's true, then stop. We're letting this compulsion define our era. And it is I ain't going to say that it's not content. You watch enough Kiwi tapes and stuff like that, or Saturated or whatever, you'll see, well, it's content. It's just never content the way that these people intend. What they intend is to get your money and get your time and get this and that. That's what they intend. That's what they want. And if they don't get it, they'll be mad. Okay? And that's where the trouble starts. And so all I'm saying is that to you guys, to this particular gang of people, this is just us, okay? And I'm fine with it staying that way. And we can have our inside jokes. And they will be good. And then hopefully, and this is my plan, hopefully, because things are decent right now, time, right? Time is a kind of a currency. A matter of fact, shit, what's your currency measured by? What's your payment? When you work your job, you get your dollar. What's it? It's measured in time. And time's the ultimate currency. Hopefully enough time gets saved up to where I can unleash something that this was all building to. Because if you ask me, I'm not sure that it was Mysteries from Behind the Beyond, right? And yet, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Because I think I'm well past be good and be gone, like Adam S. has often said and advised, which is absolutely right about, and I try and live by it too. My son, my oldest son, about a month ago, he knows where I work now, okay? And he knows how well it's going, and he knows the effect that it has on our lives. And but he's a child, okay? And there's a power that kids have that we don't, where they don't care how the sausage is made. And you can try to explain to them salaries and houses and bills and all that stuff and business. And they don't care. Now, we see this as a handicap because we're adults. But that's because we're broken. We belong to the system. They don't know what the system is yet, and they don't care. My son looks at me with tears in his eyes, and he says, "I miss when my daddy was a mystery merchant." And at first I thought he was joking. I couldn't believe that real tears were coming out. Now he's only 9. And real tears were coming out of his eyes and almost made me feel like crying. And if you guys think that's weak, well, then you don't know what the fuck it's like to be a dad. And I felt like I might cry right then and there. Well, I won't do that in front of my own kid. But he looked at me with tears in his eyes, and I couldn't believe it. And he said, "I miss it." And he said, "It was almost better going out with you," because sometimes he did, and seeing these places. And I miss when you would tell the people the stories. And then he asked me, "Would you make one just for me? Would you make another Mysteries from Behind the Beyond?" And he said, "Even if you don't put it on the internet, would you make one for me?" So I want you guys, and I want myself even, to learn from that boy, child, who knows, and he sees, hey, yeah, dad's got a salary job and these other things to do, and I don't care. I want you, this is the thing that I love, I want you to make another Mysteries from Behind the Beyond. And he began humming that damn theme song to me. And I waited for him to go to bed, and I ain't gonna lie to you folks, I went to the damn bathroom and hunched over the sink and bawled my fucking eyeballs out. That's what life is about, is that kind of thing. And so don't let this world, right, with all these clout chasers and fucking weirdos and all this shit, right, don't let it get the best of you. The stuff that makes kids happy, and clearly we saw that it makes adults happy too. If it makes kids just as happy as it makes adults, it's probably fucking good. It's probably demonstrably fucking good. And when I looked at my son and I told him, well, Wolf Woman only got 500 views, and he said to me, well, Daddy, doesn't my view count? Make one just for me. I can't say no. Yeah, Farmer John, that is the real clout. is be good to the people you love. And if the people you love and who love you, if they like what you do and they go, man, fucking rad, and they have a good time, guys, I'm here to tell you, I've seen both sides. I've seen all three sides. I've seen money, and I've seen drought and famine. I've seen it. I've seen fire, and I've seen rain, and I've seen all of it, okay? And I am here to tell you that the jam session is just as valuable. Without it, you'll go mad. And so if there is a mission here, which I already told you there wasn't, right? I lied. I changed my mind. The mission here is to stay sane and take care of each other. And who gives a fuck about impressing some set number of people from an algorithm? How about we just impress each other? Even if it's 21 people. That's it. And also remember that your family's important, and maybe you should listen to your kid when he walks up with tears in his eyes and he tells you, I want my dad to be a mystery merchant again. I don't care how much money you're making. Or I don't care about deadlines, or I don't want to hear about none of this. I miss it. Put the glasses back on. So let's just keep it in the fucking road. And again, I thank you guys. Because you know what? If I hadn't started any of that to try and get that to you guys, then it wouldn't have made... I didn't realize it had that impact on my son, is what I'm saying. I didn't realize that these videos, which I'm looking at them and going, this one's not performing. Okay? The numbers here are no good. Oh, I'm getting squashed by this fucking F-slur fucking YouTuber over here. Or... the market is saturated, or whatever it may be. Doesn't matter. I had no idea the impact that it was making on that little boy. And so I'm going to try to continue to do this, okay, guys? If you'll stick with me here, I'm going to try and find the time. What I'm dealing with right now are deadlines and a job I definitely don't want to lose. But what I'm working toward is enough free time and proper time management that I can get you guys and my son what you need. Because you only live one time on this earth as far as I know. So let's fucking do it, right? Now, Chet, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you let me let you go. But do yourself a favor. And go listen to the Shadow over Innsmouth audiobook. Go to that channel, H.P. Lovecraft audiobooks. And pick the one that has Lovecraft's face staring at you in black and white. And watch that. And I'll try, Mr. Sutton. I'll try and help you guys help me, help you help me. And I tell you now, no support is needed. Don't be doing that shit, guys. Don't be doing it. No support is needed. Don't be cash apping. Don't super chat. I'm telling you this. Don't do it. I don't need it. I am not here for that shit. I'm here for us to jam. If I'm taking anybody's nose, it's Debbie. Debbie, I got your nose. And then I'll see you guys next Sunday. Good night.